What's up, guys? Welcome to summer. It's hot, hot, hot. It is Africa hot out there. But I'll tell you this, it's better than cold and snow. So let's not complain too much. But I know your AC is on like Donkey Kong. Whew, let's get into it. Welcome, guys. It is the Bad Wolf. And once again, I want to thank each and every one of you guys for coming here and watching my videos. The good, the bad, the ugly, the government, the law enforcement, the hater, the troll, and the casual observer. Everybody's welcome here. I'm definitely glad you guys want to learn. So, with that being said, let's get into it. This particular video is about North Carolina and the exemption. Now, it's kind of funny because they want to tell you about what they can exempt or what is considered to be exempt, one in their geographical area known as state of North Carolina. But North Carolina state is its own thing, and you can't tell anybody what to do in that area unless they are your property. And so when they talk about exemptions, they're talking about U.S. citizens. They're also talking about commerce and public things that they can administer. So the private citizen or national or non-resident is already exempt. We don't need their permission. The creation cannot be more powerful than the creator, but that does not mean that you get to go out there and hurt people or do criminal things, or you can just speed or do anything crazy. Why? Because you're hurting somebody or you're doing things that are going to do considerable damage. You're taking away somebody else's rights, or I don't know, it's evil and wrong. So you have the right to be left alone, but you do not have the right to infringe upon other people's also their rights to be left alone and unharmed. Can't do that. When you do that, then that's when everything applies. So you have to understand that there is a commercial jurisdiction, the public. The public really means people who are US citizens and their product, their employee, their property. But so you were born with two separate things, citizenship and nationality. In most countries, they're the same thing, but not here in the United States of America. You can find that under 8 FAM 301 1 um, and letter B. Okay. And it'll tell you in there, it might be 301.1 1 letter B, something like that. And when you take a look at that, you'll see that there are two separate things going on. So for the naysayers, let's just go and take a look at it right away. Plus, it'll be good to refresh my memory. Okay, let's go to 8 FAM 301.1, 301.1 1. Um, See how it tries to play around every once in a while? You got to be sharp. So yeah, 8 FAM 301.1 1B. Nationals versus citizen. While most people and countries use the term citizenship and nationality interchangeably, U.S. law differentiates between the two. Under current law, all U.S. citizens are also U.S. nationals. And U.S. nationals, that private side of you is tax exempt per the IRS. U.S. nationals are regarded as non-residents for tax purposes. I'm not mad at some of these gurus and trolls and lawyers or whoever else, these agents watching my videos because you guys don't know. Here it is, your law. Matter of fact, the Department of State watching my videos so closely, I told them they made a mistake here with their code and they repaired it. They fixed it. They're like, huh, that that dirt bag son of a bitch is right. Hey, wait, tell you what, I know my law, guys. I know my shit. I've been doing this for 30 years. That's why I'm better than 90% of them in my areas. I'm not going to say all of it. Okay. So now let's get back to me. Make it all vain and stuff. All right, so we're going to take a look at North Carolina's exemption to understand that they're admitting that there are certain people. Now, remember, they're stating that we do recognize some of the citizens, whether U.S. or private, do have the right to be private and exempt. They have to acknowledge that. And if their law doesn't have any information on that, then they definitely can't say anything about it. But they have to acknowledge it because these things are real. But it's you have the ability to interpret the information because they're not going to come out and say every American is a national and every national has a private side because they can't regulate over there. That's on the outside of the sandbox. They can only regulate what's theirs, and what is theirs, a U.S. citizen. Do you see them talking about any other type of status, standing person out there? No, because they can only regulate what's theirs. It's pretty plain and simple. If I live in your area, let's say your backyard, I live in your backyard because I'm broke, and I say I control all the G's out there with blue shirts on. Anybody else walking through that area, I don't have nothing to say. I can't violate them. I can't put them under my jurisdiction. I can't tell them to go out and do this, that, or the other, right? It's the same thing. Your state is the gang. The state of North Carolina is the gang. They can only control U.S. citizens, but you have both. If if you operate like one of them, you get a driver's license from them. You call yourself a family. You call your offspring a child. You're saying you're using all the G codes. You are a member of theirs. But then why do they talk about non-residents? Non-residence means non-resident, means you did not reside. You did not leave the private or the Constitution to then side with them. It's not a permanent thing, though your name is pretty much permanently screwed because they're never going to get rid of it. You became a member. I'm gonna keep using your gang name your entire life. And if you respond to your gang name, the U.S. citizen in all capitalized letters on a state level, then you're always going to be in the gang. I'm not going to let you go. If I'm a pimp, why the hell would I let my hose go? Male or female, because I'm equal opportunity, when it comes to that. So, so the whole thing here, guys, is you have to know that you have both a status, which is of a dead thing, your legal name in all caps. That is the represents you as a U.S. citizen, represent, and your nationality as a state citizen or a national or a non-resident, private citizen, which is you in the living in the now, which is the present. You in the private is present. You in the public as a taxable thing versus non-taxable are represented by your IDs. Your IDs represent you, which means they are not you, nor is that name, an all capitalized name, you, but you can be regarded as such. So as always, guys, if you see anybody using any of my information for any evil, nefarious purposes, none of this is to be utilized for anything of the sort. This is all constitutional law, private law, and learning how to do commerce in the public the correct way. Everything that we teach here is the same thing that multimillionaires contact me about all the time on how to do it or how to improve what they've already done. I get contacted by police officers, agents, some from the government and some from wherever else, all asking about this information. Yeah, it's true. I show you guys right where it comes from. I'm literally not making up anything here. And to all those people out there, whether they're my color or not, who decide that you want to be against me for your own reasons, because of all the stupid things I've heard in the email, because you're darker than me, or I'm too light, I talk proper, I'm a black guy trying to talk and act black sometimes. Um, you're misleading. You're not. Then I there you go. Let's just get that out of the way. I don't care. I delete your emails. I block them. I don't care. Where it matters is the thousands upon thousands of people are getting their remedy. They're getting their kids back. They're winning in court. I've won in court. People are winning multi-million dollar settlements through me and or with my information. Because this is the law. This is the Constitution. I'm not making up anything here. I just learned to interpret it. And like, who are you to like really be against me or people wanting to be free? I don't get it. Like, you really want to like watch my channel so that you can like hate on me? That's cute. I remember my first beer. What are you, 12? Like that, y'all some off-brand ass niggas. And I said it there. I said it for real, white or black. I don't care. Government agent or not, I don't care. If you're against America, you are a punk. You are a traitor. Now share that on your channel. Try to make fun of me to what clap so then you can bring people from my side to you. If you're of color and you're a brother, you are a house nigga, straight up. I said it. I said it. We're all supposed to get along, no matter what color, but especially if we have color. And you're out here doing the work of the master, hating on your fellow man. I haven't mentioned almost any names ever on my channel. I don't put any of your videos up to talk about the some of y'all information and misleading people. But that's cool. I digress. Let's get back to it, right? So here's the thing. Let's take a look at North Carolina and what they have to say about exemptions. Oh, and to the people out there who want to be like, oh, well, you spent too much time asking for donations. You spent too much time talking about other people. This is my channel. I'll do whatever I want. So if you're going to act like them, then I'll treat you like them. If you're just sincerely here to get some knowledge and to compare this with what other people are doing to better yourself, then that's what the channel's about. But I'm not going to lose any sleep over off-brand people. Like, come on now. So speaking of off-brand, let's take a look at North Carolina, the state of, and what they have to say about their exemptions. There we go. By the way, I appreciate each and every one of you guys who have and continue to support me. The people who have rejoined the Wolf Pack to support monthly. Thank you. I appreciate that. Um, dun, 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 dun. Okay, here we go. Share.
The following shall be exempt from the requirement of registration and certificate of title.
Okay, so
1. Any such
first of all, this admits that there are entities or beings that are exempt from registration. Their words, not mine. So there are exemptions. Now let's find out about those.
such vehicle driven or moved upon a highway in conformance with the provisions of this article relating to manufacturers, dealers, or non-residents.
So now we know that manufacturers, dealers, or non-residents, meaning people who have not resided from the private to the public, are exempt. So if you reside, that's why they ask you, are you a resident, a resident? Have you resided from the private to the public in this matter? If you have, then yes, this doesn't apply to you. You are a resident by utilizing your U.S. citizen side. If you're using your state citizen or national side, meaning you want to keep things private, then you're a non-resident. You have the ability to be both. I showed you the article already. All right. But if you don't believe me, go to North Carolina's website and look up the definition of non-resident. All right.
Non-residents. 2. Any such vehicle which is driven or moved upon a highway only for the purpose of crossing such highway from one property to another. 3. Any implement of husbandry, farm tractor, road construction or maintenance machinery or other vehicle which is not self-propelled but was designed for use in work off the highway and which is operated on the highway for the purpose of going to and from such non-highway projects. 4. Any vehicle owned and operated by the government of the United States. 5. Farm tractors equipped with rubber tires and trailers or semi-trailers. 6. Any trailer or semi-trailer attached to and drawn by a properly licensed motor vehicle when used by a farmer, his tenant, agent, or employee. 7. Those small farm trailers known generally as. 8. Any vehicle which is driven or moved upon a highway only for the purpose of crossing or traveling upon such. 9. Repealed by Session Laws 2014114, S2, effective July 1, 2015, and applicable to offenses committed. 10. Devices which are designed for towing private passenger motor vehicles or vehicles not.
So here they tell you private passenger motor vehicle. So there is such a thing right here. They recognize it. I'm hopping through so we can get to the key sections here. All right.
Exceeding 5,000 pounds gross weight. 11. Devices generally called converter gear or dollies consisting of. 12. Motorized wheelchairs or similar vehicles not exceeding 1,000 pounds. 13. 14. Electric personal assistive mobility device.
No. Hold on. You see how it skipped 13? Well, let's go back up there. Hold on.
Devices. 14. 13. 14. Electric.
Whoa.
14.
See how it won't read 13?
14. 12. Motorized wheelchairs or similar vehicles not exceeding 1,000 pounds gross weight when used for pedestrian purposes by a handicapped person with a mobility impairment as defined in GS 2037.5. 13. 14.
Wow. I've never seen it. Well, I shouldn't say never, but yeah. Okay. So let's see here. So it says any vehicle registered in another state. Lowercase s here. This means if your vehicle is registered anywhere else outside of their state, it's exempt. And then it says, so any vehicle registered in another state and operated temporarily within this. Look, now look, capitalized S here for state. What does this mean? So they're saying if your vehicle's registered in any other state. Now, what is state? This means any other entity, like a private trust, another country, another entity, a micronation, and operated. Okay, so now they're trying to bring you into the commercial, because that's what operated means, commercial. Temporarily within this state. They don't mean physically in the state. What they mean is if you're going to have this private vehicle from another state and you bring it into their area on paper, meaning you register it, or you start doing public things with it, like charging people money that you don't know. Using a public utility, becoming public with it. Any vehicle registered in another state, okay, so that's exempt. But then they go, and operated temporarily within this state, capital S, by a public utility, a governmental or cooperative provider of utility services, or a contractor for one of these entities, or the purpose of restoring utility services in an emergency outage. So somebody would read this and go, oh, well, they only talking about you can only use it in emergency. No, it says, or then cooperative provider of utility services, or a contractor for one of the utilities for the purpose. So these are ors. But it says any vehicle registered in another state. So that means you are exempt. But it also then says and operated underneath these things, these can be exempt as well. There's a lot going on here. I mean, these are all exempt, but they're just telling you any vehicle registered in another state. Okay, now they're talking about exempt from title. Okay, so once again, let's go all the way back up. Short and sweet. What does it say here? The following, which means everything talked about herein is exempt. That's what this says, exempt from registration. You do not have to register with them if you're one of these things. So let's start off with number one again. Any such vehicle driven, I don't like the word driven because that's their word, but they have to use it. They're not going to say privately conveyed. Okay. They have to speak their language. Any such vehicle driven or moved upon the highway in conformance with the provisions of this article relating to manufacturers, dealers, or non-residents. They only use non-resident one time in here. So what are they telling you? That per number one, if you're a non-resident, you're exempt from registration and certificate. That's it. That's how it works. That's it. This is the remedy right here. That's it. Exemption from registration, non-residents. That's it. That's it. So if you're going to do right to travel, you want to take and highlight that line. Each state has their own legislative information on non-residents or uh, foreign vehicle registration or private vehicle registration, private person passenger vehicles, and so on and so forth. You have to find your states. So that's it. Each state has their own. And if they do not have their own, you can quote that they don't have anything against it in their legislative uh, repertoire of laws and statutes and codes. Just because you can't find it doesn't mean that it's applicable, it doesn't apply. If it's not there, then they can't regulate it. And they're telling you that certain people, certain things are exempt, which basically means anything private, any other state that's private. All your stuff is private until you registered with them. Then they got you. All right, guys, get out of here, go do something fun, go enjoy some sun. Take care. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Thanks for watching. I'll talk to you guys later.